Welcome to Your Legacy Stories podcast. Your host, Natalie McQueen, helps people from all walks of life to create, live, and preserve their legacy for future generations to enjoy. Natalie became a legacy designer after a near-death experience that made her completely reevaluate the legacy she was leaving in this world. She is also a book publisher who has guided over 500 authors to become international bestsellers. Natalie's mission is to help you craft the legacy you deserve, encourage you to live it to the fullest, and then preserve it for future generations to enjoy. On this show, her guests share moments of purpose, gratitude, wisdom and tradition, and of course, their legacy stories.
Well, hello, everyone. This is Natalie McQueen with Your Legacy Stories. So as we continue, this week we are talking to veterans and we're getting them to share their stories, some of, their military time that they have served our country, and we want to thank them and honor them and just enjoy their stories. So today we have Ro Gonzales, and Ro was introduced to me through Mark Balin, and I thank Mark because what I've got to know about Ro is he is just an amazing person that gives back and gives back. And I'm going to let him introduce and share how he makes the world a better place. And then we'll go into some questions about when he was in the military. So thank you, Ro, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor, number one. I'm Ro Gonzales. I'm a Marine Corps vet. I served from 87 to 91. I was a food service specialist, which pretty much equates to a cook. But I was blessed enough to serve during the Cold War where I still got to travel 3.5 of my 4 years because I was always attached to infantry. So I got to go to Egypt and I got to go to Turkey. And then I got to go on WESTPAC for 6 months out in the Pacific Ocean.
Nice. And so what do you do now? How are you making the world better?
Fast forward to 2024, and I started a nonprofit in 2018 after I had a few struggles and stuff like that. And I kind of figured out that, there's how would you say it? There's a lot of resources out there, but a lot of veterans don't know about them. And I noticed that even going through my struggle, I had no clue where to start, who to ask, or anything like that. So, after a suicide attempt, I made it my mission to, be able to help my brothers and sisters in connecting with the VA and to the valuable resources that are out there that each veteran may need.
Nice. I mean, we hear so much that the veterans are they come out of the military and they're kind of lost, right? And trying to get back into what is their next mission? What is their, how do they cope with what they've gone through? And I remember when we met, just some of the stories you shared and your hardships. And so it's amazing. And I thank you for you taking your hardships and going through and creating something that will help others. So,
That's the one thing in the military, they train you for the next mission, but they don't train you for when the mission ends. That's the
right.
problem.
Yep.
So you don't get adjusted, you don't get reacquainted into coming back into civilian world, because depending on your rank and stuff like that, if you're an officer, you automatically assume you're going to get into a Fortune 500 company and you're going to be making all this money. And that isn't always true, and if that isn't true for officers, it's even worse for enlistees. Even though enlistees have a lot of skill sets and, experience that say a college student has and stuff. But the thing is, the veteran has the real life experience compared to the books coming from a college person.
Okay. Yeah. So how did your experience in the military influence the way you live your life today?
You know what? I went in at 17 years old, had no clue. Really, the only clue I really had was I wanted to be a chef. That's all I wanted to do. So I actually went into the military with a guaranteed contract, which means I'm going in as a cook. Now, I'm not going in as infantry. I'm not going in as motor T or anything else. They couldn't switch the job on me. Open contract is pretty much they can put you where they need the most bodies at.
Okay.
So I went in guaranteed contract and stuff. But at 17 years old, I spent my 18th birthday in boot camp. And I pretty much grew up within the first 3 months in the military, going through boot camp and being surrounded with other guys that are a lot older than me as well. But also being responsible and being accounted for and stuff like that. I mean, I grew up with four siblings, and I'm the oldest of five. But it isn't the same compared to when you have to be a squad leader and you're in charge of 10 to 12 guys in your squad and stuff like that. So, the
Were the older
responsibilities.
guys more a mentor or like a big brother that is bullying you?
No, like older guys that age-wise,
Uh-huh.
they're probably as mature as you as an 18-year-old, but they're 24, 26, 30 years
Okay.
old. They act like you, but they're older in age, and that's about it. But they see that, you have leadership qualities, so that's why they make you a squad leader. So, and I've always been a leader, whether it's playing sports in school and stuff like that, being a leader with my brothers and sisters, or with my cousins and stuff like that. I always had that responsibility of always, taking care of someone or always leading someone, so.
Yeah. So out of the people that you got to serve with, were there certain ones that made an impact on you? And, like what were the things that you learned from them?
The biggest influencer slash person that made the biggest impact to me to this day was a gentleman named Staff Sergeant Baker.
Okay.
He was probably around 30, 32. And being a staff sergeant, he was the chief messman, so he was in charge of all of us. And every day, it didn't matter if you were in charge of the dish room or the salad room or the bake shop or whatever, he is going to challenge you in whatever you're doing. So whether you are, making gravy for the day for 5 to 10,000 Marines that are coming into the chow hall, or if you're in charge of the salad bar with over 100 items per side of the salad bar, he would always tell you he can do it better than you.
Oh no.
And being the guys that were always up for the challenge, because there was no wartime, there was nothing like that going on. So having that challenge, kept us motivated to try to be the best, at everything we did.
Okay.
So having him be that influence, but he also was, a listener. He always paid attention to what you
Okay.
said. He taught me to be a listener. He taught me, that um, you know, it's what you do today that'll make life easier tomorrow and the days after and stuff. So what you can do today, do it today, because tomorrow you're not guaranteed tomorrow, and you don't
No.
know what to expect tomorrow. Because as the chow hall works, just like payday works in the civilian world, as you get closer to payday, you get more people coming to the chow hall because they get to eat for free there. So the
Okay.
first 2, 3 days after you get paid, of course, everybody's down the street at
Right.
McDonald's or Burger King. They're spending their money. And then the last 2, 3 days, you go from, maybe 3,000 people on payday to come in the whole day to 10, 12,000, 3, 4 days, 5 days
Oh
before
my gosh.
payday. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's how
And did
drastic
they
it
kind
is.
of just like know that trend would happen, or you just hope that you had enough food made that day?
No, our master sergeant, who was the pretty much the guy that was in charge of the whole facility and stuff. We had to take inventory. We took counts of how many portions we did. We were allotted so many portions per, individual, per, area that we were in the base. So, depending on where we're at on the base, we had anywhere from 3,500 to 5,000. And then if one of the other chow halls was out on, they were sent out to do an operation or something, their people would come to our chow hall. So we had to plan on that in advance, knowing that they were taking off for a week. So we knew we had to have an extra 3 to 5,000, portions for those
Right.
Marines as well. Yeah,
That's I can't
it's
even imagine
really,
cooking for that many.
and that's the thing that you get good at without even realizing that, when I got out, it was hard for me to cook for my family because I was cooking for
You probably had
thousands and
leftovers for a
not
month.
well, I was fortunate enough to have 15, 20 nieces and nephews and neighborhood kids that would come over. So if I made too much, I could always give it to them and they could get rid
Oh,
of it
that's
for me,
funny.
but I mean, and I had only two kids, but they were small at that time, but I had
Yeah,
teenage nieces and nephews that they were more than
ate
happy
a
to.
lot.
Yeah, yeah, they ate like horses and stuff, so they helped me out that way.
That's funny. Oh, that's great. So, what would you like to be remembered for from your family and your community?
The main thing, like, that's why I started this nonprofit, is to leave a legacy, number one, for my grandson. Because if it wasn't for my grandson, I wouldn't be here right now. Because when I tried to commit suicide, um, my daughter called me for whatever reason 2 seconds before I was pulled the trigger. And when she told me, and mind you, I have a granddaughter already. And when she told me I was having my grandson, that hit me like a bag of bricks. But the funny thing was, the first thing that popped into my mind was I heard him talking to another little boy in my mind, and the little boy asked him, "What does your grandfather do?" And he told, "Oh, he killed himself." And
Oh,
that's the reason why I started what I started, was to leave a legacy for my grandson. Is you know I was never going to let my grandson ever say that, number one, but also to leave a legacy for him. And that's my why and my purpose. My why every day is to get up, is to leave a legacy for my grandson. My purpose is, how do I keep my brothers and sisters every day from going down that rabbit hole, or to be able to connect them to the resources. So if I touch, or I make an impact on one veteran today, or 100, I did my job for the day.
yeah. I mean, you talk about a turning point and timing and just, that is just an incredible story. And I think we talked about it, that you really need to document this. You really need to put this into a book that can be shared out with other veterans, with people that are in that situation. Um, can you share a little bit about how you help veterans today?
Um, so literally, um, there isn't a situation a veteran's gone through that I haven't gone through myself. So I've been through all the trials and tribulations that a veteran goes through. I think the only thing I haven't done in life in general is go to the moon. Other than that, I've done everything else. Everything from, divorce, addicted to cocaine, alcohol abuse, fighting, going to jail, going to prison, um, you name it, I've done it.
Mhm.
And but I think that's why I've been through all these trials and tribulations, is to be able to connect with so many veterans. When they come to me and they tell me, I need this or I need that, or I'm going through this, and I can empathize with them, number one. But number two, I've been in your shoes. So if
Yeah.
I can do it, I definitely know you can do it, and that's the
Mm.
thing I tell a lot of veterans too, is, you're knocked down for a minute. It's up to you if you want to get back up, because you can keep going through the same stuff over and over and over. And if you don't realize that you're the problem, you're the one causing all this stuff to you, then you're never going to get out of that rut. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I had to look in the mirror one day and call myself out. And, you know, um, what have I done to myself? Why am
Mhm.
I going through this?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, all I had to do was point the finger in the mirror, and it was right back at me, because I was the one making the decision, deciding to, drive drunk. I was the one who decided to put drugs in my body. I was the one who decided to go to a bar and get in fights and stuff like that. Not anybody else. I can't blame anybody else. So, at the end of the day, that's the way that I'm able to help a lot of veterans, is letting them know that I've been through this and worse. Some of you guys barely done, a bump in the road. Gone I've gone over the cliff, and and all that kind of stuff, so, and I think it's also the Marine Corps training, and um the way we're broken down in boot camp to build us better and stronger. I took that kind of mentality in a way as well. As you know I let these guys know that you're going through this for a reason, because at the end of the day, you can be a testament for somebody else that's going through
Right.
what you're going through, because this is only temporary, or
But you
you
look
can
at
make
what,
it temporary,
yep,
you
you
know.
look at what you're saying is, in the military, you're saying that they break you down to make you stronger. Because not everyone can just make those choices to not do drugs, to not, so you obviously are a very strong soul. And like you said, going through a lot of these experiences makes you the person that can relate, help, probably not judge the people that are there in that situation and want to get out themselves.
And trust me, I've had nights where, I cry by myself. I've cried myself to sleep, when I was going through my struggles. But at the end of the day, also, I kind of realized that, what, I can't have a pity party, because all that's going to do is put negative thoughts in my head and stuff like that, And the day I decided to go to South Mountain, you know, I get why veterans pull the trigger. I get it, because you think that that's not so much the easy
Yeah.
way out, but you think you have no other
No
options.
other
And if
options.
you don't know where those resources are at, and if you don't know who to talk to or who to ask for help, that's what makes it so hard, is, or make it so frustrating, is you don't know who to turn to.
Right,
At least when you're in the military, you can go to your staff, your NCO, your staff NCO, your whoever's in charge of you, you can go to them, and pretty much they're going to help you to get to sick bay or go wherever you need to go and stuff like that.
right.
And that's the difference between civilian and the military.
Yeah. You kind of have that military family, right? That
Hmm.
depending on each other and leaning on each other. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's the reason why also with my org is, it's getting these guys. So what I do is I connect veterans with veterans and resources. So my shtick, what everybody says is, I get them to come out to ball games. I get them to volunteer. We went to the movie the other night to go watch Red One, the new movie that's coming out with The
Okay.
Rock and J.K. Simmons and stuff. Well, while we're waiting in line to go see the movie, we're doing the camaraderie thing. We're talking to each other. We're finding out, because I'm trying to find a couple veterans. I usually sit veterans together that
Mhm.
either the same branch, the same MOS, something they have in common. So they're more likely to have a battle buddy, and they can start talking to that veteran, and rely on that veteran, and say, whatever you need, anything, reach out to me, you know,
Wow.
because that goes a long ways, just having that one person that you can reach out to, or you can unload, or, you had a bad day, or, something happened, and you can text them, or you can call them and stuff like that, and that is very, very impactful in the veteran community, especially, you know, the last 4 years have been really, really tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. Well, thank you for all you do. I mean, that's just incredible. And uh, in my line of work, I publish people's stories. I help them get their stories out and get them, whether it's to the world or to just their families. And that's why I feel like your legacy stories matters, because we've all gone through different experiences who make us who we are today. And one of the things I talk about is, all of us should have, I call it a legacy list, and it's similar to a bucket list, but it's something that you may want to experience, something that you may want to accomplish, like if you said, I've always wanted to graduate with a degree, or I've always wanted to jump out of a plane, or, so it can be an experience like that, or go to Europe or whatever, or to strive to create something that will live on beyond you. So what would you say one thing that you have not accomplished yet that would be on your legacy list? Share that with us.
Probably the biggest one is being able to go out into space.
Oh, yeah?
That would be one of the biggest ones that I think. Yeah, I mean, because I've gone to Super Bowls, I've partied with celebrities, I've been to Europe,
Right.
I've been to what, six, seven continents, I've been blessed like that, but I mean, to the moon, I think would be something that, you
I
know,
love that you go the Super Bowl or the moon.
yeah, I mean, it's a huge difference. I mean, how many people get to go to the moon?
Oh,
And I think that would be awesome to go to the moon and just to
okay.
say that, guess what? I've been to the moon, because I mean, I've met what, five or six presidents,
Yeah.
I've shaken their hand, I've gotten a golf ball signed by them and stuff like that. So that's one of my hobbies is getting golf balls signed by
Oh,
presidents
nice.
and stuff. That's one thing I tell everybody when they ask me, "Oh, what's one thing you don't know about me?" I'm like, "Well, I got golf balls that are signed by presidents."
Yeah, that's
So
great. That's a
yeah.
great thing because you can display them, and I never
Well,
thought of.
I have a flag that I won in a golf tournament. It's
Mhm.
made of wood, and instead of having
Oh,
stars, you put golf. It has
oh,
enough for 50 golf balls,
oh,
right?
wow.
And so each golf ball, I've been collecting a golf ball from each state to put into my little flag. So
Oh, I
right
love
now, I only
that.
have 23 golf balls, but I
That's,
have five presidents in there right now.
you got to fill those golf
I
balls.
got to figure out a way to make a couple more holes in it to put the presidents.
Yeah, that's great. Well, good luck on going to the moon. I mean, it looks like Elon is gonna send people there, so.
I need to get into the networking realm of where he's at so I can put it in his ears like, hey, you think you can take this old crazy Marine up to the space and
Right?
stuff?
I think he
You
would
know,
be fun to travel with. That's
yep,
awesome.
I think so too.
Well, I want to really thank you for your service. Thank you for what you've done for the country, and thank you what you're doing continually for the veterans that have served and making their lives better. And I know you have a project that you're working on right now, and you could use some support. So how can we support you?
Uh, well, we're collecting turkeys right now. This is my from January to September, I'm mainly helping homeless veterans and veterans in general into employment and education and stuff. But come September, the end of September, October, we start working with, getting turkeys to veteran families, toys
Okay.
for the kids, stuff
Yep.
like that. So any support we can get for stuff like that, whether it's somebody wants to do a turkey drive or collect toys or clothes
Okay.
or anything like that for us, we really appreciate it.
So in saying that, if they're out of state or not, so we're both in Arizona here. If they're out
Okay.
of state, is there somewhere that they can just send you some money or Venmo
Oh
or,
yeah, they can go to our website at vvcazvets.org, which is
okay,
Victor Charlie Alpha Zulu vets.org. We can, and we're also, you can also find us on the Facebook. We have a Facebook group.
okay,
Or you can email us at info@vvcaz.org as well.
okay. So we'll put all that information in the show notes. So let's talk about the people that are local in, the Phoenix, Scottsdale, Glendale, Chandler, Mesa area. If they want to come help serve, or they want to, bring you a bunch of turkeys or have a turkey drive, is there what would be the best way that they get hold of you to maybe help set this up or collaborate?
They can reach out to me on my cell at 602-390-2470, or they can email me directly at ro.gonzales with the Z at the end at vvcaz.org.
Okay. And
And
again,
we
I'll
also have a
post-
location. We also have a taco shop location.
Mhm.
I can get that to you later and stuff.
Okay,
I don't know the address right off the top of my head.
sure.
But I can you can drop off turkeys there as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's amazing. You are an incredible inspiration, and uh, you're the kind of story that I love to hear that went from, you know, needing help yourself and looking and thinking, you have no other options, to now making a place, a safe place to fall for others. So thank you for that.
And the only reason I didn't have options was because I was too proud to ask for help.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I didn't have any options.
Yeah.
And I just want to let I want to let veterans know that there are so many people out there that want to help. All you
Yeah.
got to do is reach out, and it's not shameful, it's not
Right.
embarrassing, because the only thing that's more embarrassing is having to see you out on the street when you shouldn't be.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Well, thank you. All right. Is there any final words or anything you want to add?
um, you know what? I just want to let everybody know to, now that the holidays are getting closer, to have a great holiday season. Spend as much time with your family as you can. My kids are grown, so but I'll be lucky enough to go see them for at least 3 to 5 days for Christmas. Usually it's Thanksgiving, but this year it can't happen during Thanksgiving, so I'm always lucky to get either or,
Yeah.
to go visit my daughter in San Antonio. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and give me a little break in between the Fiesta Bowl and the turkey drive and the toy drive. So
Well, we are looking forward to helping you. So I hope
I
everyone
appreciate that.
hears this and reach out, whether you're local or not local. This would make a big difference, and make someone's day just a little bit brighter. So thank
Oh
you.
yeah. And we always post our pictures and stuff that we do on our LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram as well.
Perfect. We'll be posting everything below. All right. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Your Legacy Story Podcast. If you would like to share your legacy story with Natalie or get your legacy book started, please reach out at giftsoflegacy@gmail.com. Be sure to add My Legacy Stories in the subject line. We would love to help you share your legacy message out to the world. Natalie would like to invite you to join our private Facebook group, Create Your Legacy Life. She shares tips on book publishing, ways to create and leave your legacy, and she interviews the most amazing legacy creators, sharing their moments of purpose, gratitude, wisdom, and tradition, and of course, their legacy stories. See you next week.